Good morning. Many of us are aspiring entrepreneurs. Do you have any advice of how to deal with fraudulent fraud when we go into the business world and open up a company?
I'm minded to say, call me. Yeah, call me and pay me, your problems are over. No, I tell people that any system, that any business that relies heavily on trust is doomed to fail. All right? Put in systems, checks and balances that will keep honest workers honest. All right? Because if you have an open system, trust me, over time, as I said, 75% of your workers will steal from you at least once, and then there are the repeat offenders. All right? You're begging for trouble. All right? Most people have good intentions, but when you put the temptation in front of them long enough, people will succumb to it. So your best way to keep them honest is to put in good systems. All right? Workers, and when I use the term workers, as far as I'm concerned, from the managing director down, all right? There's a term, people do what, what's the term? Yeah. People do what you inspect, not what you expect. So if you're not checking, I mean, all of my jobs, I was in the army for 11 years, I ran a guard company for 26 years. And I tell people 1/10 of my time was telling people what to do, giving instructions, 1/10. You know what I spent the other 9/10 doing? Huh? Checking, exactly, following up, checking. Because if you don't do that, it doesn't get done. And anything that you can't measure does not get done. So you have to put in your checks and balances. And of course, reward good work. A lot of the people that call me to do polygraph tests, when I inquire how much they're paying the workers, I'm not surprised they're stealing. I mean, some of them, what it costs them to come to work is more than they're paid. Literally. I mean, I did a job where a guy was living, somewhere up in a Glenduff. It was costing him, about $9,000 for the fortnight. He was barely getting that after he paid out his deductions. And you wonder why he was stealing? And then they paid me handsomely to tell them that I would have told them without charging them that, listen, if you pay these people better, you probably will get a lot more out of them. All right? But you see, when there's a lack of trust, generally, you tend to shortchange people. I remember when I was in the army, a simple thing, getting ration for the soldiers. I remember I had a platoon of 30 men. And the conventional wisdom is that when you are requesting ration for the troops, you up the figure. You say if it's 30 meals, you ask for 50, because you know that the ration store is going to cut it to about 35 or 40. Now, what kind of system is that? What you're doing there is institutionalizing dishonesty. My position was that I want 30 meals, give me my 30 meals. I can account for 30 meals or 30 people. So I wasn't into that. That was never my modus operandi. All right? And let me tell you something. You're going to be unpopular when you do the right thing or try to do the right thing most of the time. People are going to have you off. All right? So I wouldn't recommend, if you're planning, clearly that's not a trait for a politician, because if you want people to vote for you, then you're going to tell them all manner of things. All right? But if you really want, all right, to do a good job, and you have people's interest at heart, then you need to tell them the truth. I probably have caused more people in Jamaica to lose their job than many. I was in the military, police. God knows how many soldiers I caused to lose their job. All right? At one stage when I was working with Atlas, I remember as many as 15 people used to leave each week. No, maybe that was a month. Every month at least 15. And most of them was because we caught them with their hand in the till. And you know something? I don't walk around with a Beretta. I sleep very well at night. I see these people all the time. And it's largely because even when I'm dismissing them, I give them respect. And I blame myself when I'm firing. I say, listen, it's not your problem, it's my mistake. I probably shouldn't have given you this job in the first place. All right?